Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a makeup tutorial on this look right here. This was completely inspired by autumn leaves and autumn sceneries. I wanted to play with oranges, purples and browns together. And so this is the look that I came up with, and I am in love with the way that this turned out. So I posted these pictures on all of my social media, Facebook, Instagram and Snapchat, and I got dozens of requests from you guys to actually recreate this look. So I oblige. Today I'm going to show you guys how I created that look, and I'm also going to keep it as real time as possible. I'm not going to forward out any of this blending because I want you guys to know exactly how long it takes to blend out an eyeshadow and get that blown out kind of an effect. Oftentimes watching videos where the blending is fast forwarded can give you the perception that you're only supposed to blend for like 5 seconds, and so when you try that you don't end up with the same kind of blown out effect. So that is why I wanted to keep this real time, and so I hope you enjoy this video. So I'm going to take my MAC paint pot in soft ochre and start priming my lids. I'm going to make sure that I apply this primer all the way to the inner corners as well, since this is going to be a smoky eye and I'm going to apply some eyeshadow on the inner parts of the eye as well. I want to make sure that everything blends seamlessly. So I'm taking the brush and then my fingers to make sure that all of my eye is completely primed. Because I'm going to be playing with some really dark colors today, I'm going to do my eye makeup first. That way if I have any fallout, I can easily clean that away afterwards. So I'm starting with a clean face. I have nothing on my face at the moment except for a couple of brow products. After that, I'm going to take a very small piece of scotch tape and I'm going to apply it on the outer corners of my eyes. But before doing that, I'm going to apply it on the back of my hands a couple of times just to make sure that it's not as tacky and would not pull on the delicate skin around my eyes. I'm going to angle this in the way that I want my wing to be. This is just going to make sure that the outside corners of my eyeshadow and this look would be extremely neat, which is going to intensify the smokiness of this eye look. Next, I'm going to set my concealer with a powder. I'm going to use the NYX HD powder in Banana. You can use any white based or cream based powder which is closer to your skin tone. This was just on hand because I was planning to use this to set my under eye concealer, so I grabbed for this one. Next, I'm picking up the yellow shade from the Viseart Dark Mattes palette. It's a really pigmented shade and normally I go for a much lighter shade for my transition. But because the overall look was going to be really dark, I wasn't that worried about it. And also the brush that I'm going to use is just going to make sure that it still looks blown out and blended as if I had laid down a transition color. I'm using the Hakuhodo J5522 blending brush, which is my holy grail brush to put on the crease shade. Now, because I did not edit out any of this blending and this is all real time, you guys can see that it almost took me an entire minute to get the eyeshadow to look the way I want it to look. Now it's looking blown out and blended without any harsh lines. Once I get it there, I'm going to pick up my Goss number 3 brush, which is like my best friend for my eyeshadows. I use it several times during an eye look just to make sure that everything is blending in seamlessly and looks smooth. Next, I'm going to pick up the orange shade from the Viseart palette. I'm placing majority of this shade on the outer corners, and then slowly and gradually I'm going to drag that color to the inner corners of the eyes as well. I'm using my Hakuhodo J5533 blending brush, and I love this blending brush. It's not as tapered as your typical blending brushes are, which means that it has a relatively flatter surface that would make sure that it has more contact with your skin. So when you're applying a crease shade, it's not only being applied directly into the crease but also a little above it and a little below it. In my opinion, that just gives you the most beautiful blown out kind of a look, and I absolutely love this blending brush. Once I'm done with that, I'm then going to pick up my Goss number 3 brush one more time, and I'm going to make sure that the two colors I've laid down so far are blending together seamlessly. I'm then also going to pick up the blending brush that I used to lay down the previous shade, and this is a technique that I would repeat several times during this tutorial, and as I go, I'll explain why. Next, picking up the red tone shade on a flat side of the Hakuhodo J5523, I'm going to flip the brush around to make sure that the part with the eyeshadow is going to face upwards, and then I'm going to place that directly in my crease so that it can apply to the upper parts of my crease. This is going to add some intense depth and dimension to that part of the eye. I'm then going to go back into the eyeshadow brush that I used to lay down the previous shade, and this technique is helpful because it blends the two colors together, but it also makes sure that they don't muddy up together and each color can stand on its own. Next, on my Chikuhodo Z10, I tried to customize a color of my choice, so I mixed in one of the purples and one of the blues from the palette, and I started packing it on the outer corners of my eye. After packing it on, I started to slightly blend it into my crease as well as towards the outer half of my eyes. After I was done blending, I felt like I wanted my outer corner to be even darker, which is why I went back in with the same two shades one more time, packed it on my outer corners, and then slightly blended it into my crease as well. And then one more time, using the same blending technique, I'm going back to the brush that I used to lay down the red shade, my Hakuhodo J5523, and I'm going to blend this purple with the red shade. So then I cleaned my Chikuhodo Z10 on my color switch so that it didn't have any of that dark purple before I went in and I picked this really nice muted mauve shade to pack on the inner corners of my eyes. Going back in with Goss number 3 brush one more time, just to make sure everything is blending in seamlessly. Next, I'm going to take some e.l.f. glitter glue and I'm going to pack that on just the inner half of my eye using my fingers. Next, I'm picking up this stunning, rich, dark brown pressed pigment on my fingers, applying it directly to the parts of my eye where I had e.l.f. glitter glue on. And I feel like this super metallic, dark chocolate brown complements these purples so nicely, and it adds such beautiful dimension and oomph to the overall look. I'm mixing in the purple and the blue one more time and adding that to the outer corners just so I can blend the outer corners with the edges of this glitter nicely. Next, I'm going to pick up my Goss number 5 brush with no product on it, and I'm just going to go over my crease a couple of times to make sure that there are no harsh lines between the glitter, the outer corner, and the crease. After that, I felt like I wanted a little more shimmer to the eyes, so I picked up my pressed pigment one more time and added a little more on the inner half of my eyes. Then I took my Sedona Lace EB19 brush with the Colourpop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Pastel, and I used the Scotch tape as my guideline to draw on a wing. I'm not taking this wing all the way to the inner parts of my eyes, I'm just drawing it on the outer half. Basically anywhere where the glitter is, I'm not drawing any eyeliner on top of that. Next, I'm going to take that scotch tape off very gently, and can you guys see how neat the outer corner and the wing looks? This is my absolute favorite makeup hack in the entire world. I would never be able to do an eyeliner without this. Then I'm going to take a makeup removing wipe and I'm going to clean off any fallout. And so this is for now the finished look of my upper eye at the moment. With the power of editing, I will be back with some foundation all over my face, and then I can complete the eye look as well as put on some highlighter on my inner corner and my brow bone. So after putting in my foundation, the first thing I'm going to do is take my Maybelline Master Drama Kohl eye pencil and I'm going to line my tight line using this eyeliner. And for my waterline, I tried to use Mr. Bing by Colourpop, but it wasn't working since I think mine has completely dried down. So then I went back into that same pencil that we used in our tight line and I'm going to line my waterline using that same product. Next, on a pencil brush, I'm once again going to mix the purple and the blue from the Viseart palette and I'm going to start smoking out my lower lash line. While doing that, I'm just making sure that I'm also joining the outer corners of the eyes with the wing on top so that there are no empty spaces in between. I'm then going to continue smoking out my lower lash line. I'm basically using all the same shades that I used above, just in the reverse order. I'm using the darker shades closer to my lower lash line, and then I'm using the lighter shades that I used in my transition above to blend them out. Next, I'm going to take my e.l.f. illuminating palette and picking up that vanilla champagne kind of a shade, I'm going to highlight my inner corners and my brow bone. It looked very beautiful, but it was very subtle. So in my pictures, the gold that you see is basically Becca's champagne pop that I put on later. Alright, so then I curled my lashes and put on only one coat of the IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara on my upper lashes because I'm going to be wearing falsies. I'm also going to use that same mascara on my lower lashes as well. I also tried filming putting on lashes on camera, but it just didn't work out. I'm still very new to falsies and I just had to put them on and take them off and put them on and take them off several times before I got them right. And yes, I realized that I do not have them right here in this outro. While I was posing for this outro, I didn't realize that the lashes on my right eye are just horribly put there. So I fixed them before I started taking some pictures. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found this helpful or entertaining, and I hope you liked this look. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and do not forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.